There are places where silence feels natural. And then there are places where silence feels intentional, as if it's waiting. Emily Carter noticed the silence almost immediately. It wasn't the peaceful kind tourists expect when they imagine Yosemite. This was different. The birds were gone. The wind had stopped moving the trees. Even the distant rush of water, something you could usually hear everywhere in the park, felt muted, as if the forest itself were holding its breath. Emily was 27, visiting alone, and not new to hiking. She had grown up in Oregon, spent weekends on trails, and prided herself on preparation. She told herself this mattered. That experience mattered. Still, the feeling came. That sensation you can't explain without sounding dramatic. The sense that something has shifted, and you missed the moment it happened. She checked her watch. Just past noon. The trail was marked. The weather was clear. Her phone still had service, though weak. Nothing about the situation justified the tightness creeping into her chest. Nothing except the man. She first noticed him about 15 minutes into the hike. At first, he was just another hiker. Tall, mid-30s maybe, wearing neutral colors that blended too well with the trees. No backpack. That stood out. Most people carried something. She stepped aside to let him pass. He didn't. Instead, he slowed. They walked like that for several minutes. Not close enough to be obviously following, not far enough to feel coincidental. When Emily stopped to adjust her boot, he stopped too. When she resumed walking, she heard footsteps again, matching her pace almost exactly. She told herself not to assume intent. She told herself this was how paranoia started. Then she took a wrong turn on purpose. The trail forked, one path well-worn, the other narrower, barely disturbed. Emily took the narrow one without slowing down. She waited. 10 seconds later, footsteps followed. She didn't look back this time. She didn't need to. The silence thickened. Her mind began to fill the quiet with questions. Why doesn't he pass me? Why doesn't he speak? Why does it feel like the forest is closing in instead of opening up? She reached a small clearing and stopped abruptly. This time, she turned. The man stood about 20 feet behind her. Up close, there was nothing obviously threatening about him, which somehow made it worse. Clean face. Calm expression. No visible injuries. No weapons she could see. He smiled. Not a friendly smile. Not a threatening one either. A measured smile. Like someone who had been waiting. "Beautiful day," he said. Emily nodded, forcing herself to keep her voice steady. "Yeah. You hiking alone?" he asked. The question was casual, almost careless. Every instinct in her body screamed that the answer mattered. She lied. "Meeting friends up ahead." He nodded slowly, as if weighing that. For a moment, neither of them moved. The silence returned, heavier now, pressing against her ears. Then he stepped aside. "Enjoy your hike," he said. Emily didn't thank him. She walked past without looking at him again, resisting the urge to run. She counted her steps. 100, 200, 300. When she finally looked back, the clearing was empty. Relief came in a rush, sharp and dizzying. She laughed under her breath, embarrassed at herself. "See? Nothing. Just a guy. You made it something." She continued deeper into the trail. That was her second mistake. The path narrowed until branches brushed her arms. Her phone lost signal entirely. The air felt cooler, heavier. She told herself she'd turn back after 10 more minutes. That's when she heard it. A single footstep. Behind her. Not close. Not far. Intentional. She stopped. The step stopped. She started again. So did the step. This time, when she turned around, the man was closer than before. Much closer. His smile was gone. "You walk fast," he said calmly. Too calmly. Emily's heart pounded so hard she felt it in her throat. "I told you I'm meeting people." "I know," he replied. That answer didn't make sense, and he didn't clarify. Instead, he looked past her, deeper into the trees. "Do you know," he said, "how quiet it gets when no one's looking for you?" Emily backed away slowly. She never saw him move. 1 second, he was standing there. The next, his hand was on her wrist. Not tight. Not violent. Just enough to stop her. The forest stayed silent. And Emily realized, with a clarity that froze her blood, that no one knew exactly where she was anymore. Emily survived because she stopped thinking like a hiker and started thinking like prey. The man didn't drag her. He didn't threaten her. He didn't raise his voice. That was the most terrifying part. He released her wrist almost immediately, as if the touch alone had been enough to establish control. "Relax," he said. "You're safe if you listen." Emily didn't answer. She focused on her breathing, forcing herself not to hyperventilate. Panic, she knew, would make her predictable. And predictable was dangerous. "What do you want?" she asked. He tilted his head, studying her like a problem he hadn't decided how to solve yet. "Conversation," he said finally. "Walking company." The lie sat between them, unconvincing and unchallenged. He gestured down the trail, not forward, but sideways, off the path entirely. Emily shook her head. "I'm heading back." "No," he said gently. "You're not." There was no anger in his voice. No threat. Just certainty. That was when she understood something critical. This wasn't impulsive. He wasn't lost. He wasn't confused. He had chosen this trail. He had chosen her. Emily did the one thing he didn't expect. She laughed. It came out shaky and wrong, but it startled him, just enough. "You picked the wrong person," she said. "Park rangers check in on this trail every hour." That wasn't true. But she watched his eyes carefully. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across his face. "Do they?" he asked. She nodded. "And I told them where I was going." Another lie. But lies don't have to be perfect. They just have to create doubt. The man stepped back half a pace, scanning the trees. Emily seized the moment. She ran. Branches tore at her skin. Roots caught her boots. She didn't follow the trail. She broke it, crashing through undergrowth, making as much noise as possible. She wanted to be heard. Behind her, she heard him moving too. Faster than before, no longer pretending. Her lungs burned. Her vision tunneled. Then, voices. Real ones. Ahead. Emily screamed. Not words. Not sentences. Just sound, raw and desperate. The footsteps behind her stopped. She burst into another clearing where 2 hikers stood frozen, staring at her in shock. Emily collapsed. Park rangers were called. Statements were taken. Search teams combed the area. They never found him. No records. No reports that matched. No name to attach to the face Emily could still see when she closed her eyes. The official explanation was simple. Misinterpretation. Stress. Fear. Emily knew better. Years later, she would learn something that made her blood run cold. Another woman had gone missing in the same area 6 months earlier. Same trail. Same time of day. No witnesses. No body. Emily doesn't hike alone anymore. But what haunts her most isn't what happened. It's what almost did. Because somewhere in those woods, she believes, there are still places where the silence isn't natural. It's waiting. If this story made you pause, if it made your chest tighten just a little, if it reminded you how thin the line between life and death can be, subscribe now to get more true crime survival stories where ordinary moments turn terrifying, and survival is never guaranteed. Because the next story might feel even closer to home.